Hey everybody, welcome. Kevin Kaufman, Fred Weaver, kevinandfred.com. Still not sure why it's not fredandkevin.com, but that's this topic for another day. I think the last, do we call these episodes videos?
Sure.
Yes, okay. So the last time you and I sat in front of the camera, we were talking about how to write a strong offer.
Yep.
And we, at the very end of that video, talked about the importance of a buyer consultation.
Yep.
And so I'd like to talk a little bit about that. Maybe just for those people out there that are watching this video who aren't familiar with the concept of a buyer consult, let's just start by defining that real quick, if you don't mind.
Yeah, absolutely. So, well, there's a quick thing, which is the word is consultation, not presentation.
Nice new glasses, by the way.
Thank you. Consultation, not presentation. And when you're consulting with someone, what you're doing is you're asking them questions, trying to find out what their needs are.
Okay.
Find out, can you help them? Can you help them get what their goals are?
Okay.
So I think a lot of us in real estate, we tend to go, oh, someone wants to buy or sell a house, let me help you. And we start trying to help people that we can't actually help. But if you don't find out what their needs are, what their wants are, what their expectations are, what their price range or parameters are, how are you going to really know if you can help them up front without consulting with them?
Right. I think a lot of people come into this industry, and good for you if you're still running a great business and making all the money you want. We're not telling you have to do it our way, but a lot of people come into the industry and their concept of helping a buyer is, I'm going to go out and show houses.
Yes.
Right? I'm going to go open doors, as I like to say. And that is a piece of the value we bring, but my strong opinion on this subject is that if that's the only piece of value that you bring, we can easily be replaced by the home buyer finding another agent or by technology or whatever else it may be, right? It's just not enough in my opinion. I think you and I, the way we look at it, the way we run our business here in the Phoenix area is we want to elevate the level of professionalism that we bring to the client experience.
Yeah.
Right? So it starts with a meeting. Like my attorney doesn't just like show up at my house with some pre-prepared documents and say, this is what you wanted in your will and testament, right? Or this is what you wanted your trust to look like, right? Like he sits down, I go into his office and he asks me some questions. He has a general sense of wanting to get to know me, right? There's a process there. It's a consultation.
Imagine that.
Imagine that, right? And the ones that consult tend to make more money versus I go online to
fill out a form.
What's the online
like LegalZoom?
LegalZoom, right? And I'm sure I'm not saying LegalZoom can't provide some help. In fact, we've opened some entities with them. You owe me a marketing fee for that little pitch, LegalZoom, but. No, my point is that you can get some stuff done, but to get into a deep relationship, to really provide value, to create a scenario where people are going to enjoy the experience and like rave about how great it was, there's this little thing called a buyer consult where you can set expectations.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, and to me, it's like a minimum standard thing. Like you have to do this. Doing this one thing alone sets you apart from the majority of your competition.
Yeah. So you and I have buyer consultation video that we have like several in our training platform that our agents use, and I suppose like we could talk on that sometime. So comment below if you want to know more about that. Maybe we'll do a whole video on how our buyer consult flows. But
what that setup is.
Yeah, what that setup was. So, but the purpose of what we were talking about last time and what we wanted to bring into this video was that when you want to write a strong offer, it starts by setting expectations in the buyer consultation.
Exactly. So if you're in a really competitive situation and maybe you need to do one of those things we talked about, pay a certain amount or guarantee a certain amount over appraised value, right? That's such an easier conversation to have if you've actually already had it before you found yourself in the situation of, hey, we're competing for a home that's got 12 other offers. We're not going to get this for list price.
Yeah. So meaning that after a client were to come into my office and I've sat down with them and asked them some questions, they've gotten to know me, I've gotten to know them, we could say, hey, are you aware of what's going on in our market today? You want to buy a home between $250,000 and $300,000 in Gilbert, Arizona. Are you familiar with what's going on in the market? And they're probably going to say no, and that's where you're saying, well, let me explain that to you right now, right? So I might pull out some statistics, I might pull open the MLS, I might open my CRM account and show them homes that are active versus pending in that price range. Talk to them about days on market, but then I might talk about, hey, so one of the strategies that I've recently been using with some of my clients, because you'll notice there's not a lot of inventory here, and oh, by the way, let me tell you about the last listing I took a month or two ago in Gilbert, under 300,000, and the 12 offers I got on it as an example. So one of those opportunities would be just to share with them some of the techniques that can be used. So planting that seed and having that discussion in the buyer consult, way easier than doing it in the car or at the time you need to go write an offer.
So
like
much easier.
If you drop that nugget on somebody like, hey, so how much money above appraised value would you want to pay for this house if the home were not to appraise? Like if the first time you talk to them about that
is while you're writing the offer.
It's while you're writing the offer, I'm gonna suggest it's gonna be a rough conversation.
But you know, here's the other side of that too. How much better do you look to them when you prep them for it and said, hey, something like this could come up, and then it comes up.
Yes.
So you told them something could happen in the market, and then it did happen when you're in the market. Your credibility as an expert in the market goes up exponentially now too. So I mean, that's also part of the reason here is you let them know, like, I know what I'm doing. I'm a professional. This is the way we do it, and here's the steps that we go through. And now they know they're in the hands of someone they can really trust. So if you're anything like us, we don't want to just sell our clients one house. We want the referrals of their friends and their family members, their coworkers, and we want their repeat business. And to me, that all starts with actually that first consultation. It actually all goes back to that consultation. So
yeah, in fact, if you took us up on our offer last time and messaged us or raised your hand and said, send me your little sheet on kind of ways to write competitive offers, to write a really great offer, I might suggest you take a version of that into your, not necessarily our copy, but you might take like a list of 10 or 15 things into your consultation and say, so here's 15 things, Mr. Buyer, Kevin, I want to share with you that we can do to make your offer stand out over others. These first 5 right here on my piece of paper, I'm going to do all these. I'm going to make a great relationship with the agent. I'm going to write a really clean offer. I'm going to make sure we build some rapport and talk to them about why you want this house. But here's some things you can do. We can participate together in writing a love letter we talked about. We can use a clause where we would actually offer. I know, but my point is,
make them go back and watch the other video.
You get my point, right? My point is that I could actually in the consultation go through and list those things out and say, is there one of these or 2 of these that you're really attracted to that we could start working on now, even before we found the house you want? We could start working on these things to position you to be able to get the property, so when you do find it, you fall in love with it. We can write the most aggressive offer possible to get that house for you.
Yes.
Right? To me, that's what it's about. So anyway, it starts in the buyer consult.
Yep.
Be a professional.
And if you're curious and you didn't catch the video that we posted last week,
I guess you could raise your hand here.
Well, you could, but go back and watch the other one because it gives you specific instructions on how to get that document.
Okay. Your glasses weren't as cool in the last video, though. I like them. They're new. No? All right, are we going to end this? Oh, never mind. We don't do a
camera.
All right, have a great day. We'll see you later.